Alrighty, ooh, Randy and Murli. Nice, nice. You got Mark here too. Give me a quick voice check. I just wanna. This one's gonna be super, super fast. Was actually not gonna do a vid today at all. Some things came up at home, but I just couldn't leave you guys without a video today, considering what's going on with price. Something important is happening that I want you guys to keep an eye on, because it could end up being a trap, or it could be amazing. So we're gonna have an if then this, if then that, if this then that. Jesus Christ, you can hear the hunger. How's it going, Frank? Alrighty. I'm just doing multiple things at the same time over here. Adjust my mic to my mouth. Make sure I'm not muted. Can they hear me? Ajay, how's it going? I need someone to let me know if you guys can hear me. Come on. Boom. Alright, camera working. How handsome am I, guys? How handsome am I? Pretty handsome. Pink loves me, guys. Pink just loves me. Okay, let's get started, shall we? I'm gonna go ahead and switch on over to the charts. Yay, Ajesh can see me. That's all that matters. Okay. Today, I do want to start off by giving a massive freaking shout out to Mark and Shanks from the Grove, from Seed. They have been working on this dashboard for a very, very long time, and holy shit, is it coming along. Today, I realized something. Today, I was using it, and I didn't need to leave the dashboard for anything I wanted in regards to Bitcoin, right? Nothing. I was like, holy shit, I didn't even go on to TradingView. And that's been happening more and more, where I don't need to exit this portal anymore. In fact, it's more convenient for me to do everything on here. It's more tedious for me to go on to TradingView and switch on my indicators, etc., than getting the information I want from this dashboard, because Jesus Christ, man, it just click. So massive freaking shout out. It's become a powerhouse. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Shanks. You guys have been amazing, man. I love this thing. This is what we always wanted to do, right? As a community, to come together and build something that we wanted for ourselves, that we could use for ourselves, and teach what we know to everyone out there. So I've been teaching you guys everything I know about Ichimoku, moving averages, trend trading, etc. Now Mark has been coming in, teaching us everything he knows about FEGs, low time frame trading, how that mixes in with the high time frame trading, FEGs, etc. This is it, man. The mastermind community I always dreamt of building, right? Together, helping each other, learning from each other. And holy shit, these FEGs, they've become integral now to both Krisha and me. And I'm usually really nitpicky about adding things to my system. My own indicators too, to be honest, take a long time to get implemented into my system. But these FEGs just work so well with existing systems that you don't really need to add anything, right? You guys are going to see this over here in today's analysis as well. So today's analysis, what is today's analysis about? Very, very simple. Price is moving up at the moment. We're sitting at around 27,500-ish, I believe, right? And people might be getting bullish short term, and it might be, their emotions might be getting the better of them, okay, at this juncture. And I urge you guys to be patient. I urge you guys to say, hold off just for a tad bit more, because the decision will be a lot easier after a certain few things happen, okay? So my current status, my current view on the markets is I am short term still looking for downside, okay? I hope I'm wrong. I hope that turns around, because my long-term positions, okay, my leveraged long-term positions, by the way, these aren't spot positions, which is why I hope I'm wrong, are still long, okay? I am positioned to add to my positions if we get that downside move. But if we continue up, I'm going to be happy either way, okay? If we get the downside move, I'll add. If we continue up, if XYZ happens, I'll tell you guys what XYZ is very, very soon. But if XYZ happens and I don't get to add to my Bitcoin position, I'll add to other positions, right? I'll also give you guys an update on the Cardano trade, right? we've been in it now for a couple of weeks. So Bitcoin, again, long-term, still bullish. Mid to long-termish, actually. So mid-term to long-term, bullish. Short-term, I would urge caution. Why? Firstly, we've bounced off this FEG, okay, already. That was the trade. If you guys were looking to be bullish, trade the FEG, trade the support. There was a neckline over here too, etc., etc. There was the weekly 200 moving average, right? I can go ahead and show it to you guys really quickly. This is the daily. Let me switch to the weekly time frame. So in the stream I did with Krisha, the duo I did with Krisha just a couple of days ago, she pulled up the weekly 200, and I was like, not enough people are giving the weekly 200 attention. And the weekly 200 historically has always been a good buy, period, right? So there's enough buy pressure on that level. Let's go turn it on. I'm just talking over here, right here. This red line here is the weekly 200. You guys can see as well how price was, that's a line, free form. Price was rejecting so well across it, right? We tested it, came down to the 10 SMA, defended the 10 SMA, boom, and now it's support, right? This weekly 200 moving average historically throughout Bitcoin's history has always been a good buy. So betting against it was just not a good idea, right? If you want to go short, etc., etc. Once we break underneath, by all means, we can start looking for that lower move. Now, I wasn't betting against it. I was hoping for a lower move, right? Deeper, so I could add to my position, hopefully on like the weekly 21 EMA or something like that, somewhere around there. 25K, 24K is what I would have really liked. We didn't get that though. The market is showing strength. The market is showing us strength in the weekly 200. You can't ignore that. You can't ignore that. But the weekly is still, my camera is blurry, right? Apologies. Come on, focus. Either way, the weekly 200 is still being defended, but the weekly is still a high time frame, right? So a lot can happen on the lower time frames, on the 4-hour, on the 12-hour, on the daily, before the weekly actually sees resolution. So we'll come back to this very, very soon. I think I can clear all of this by hitting this button right over here. Boom, everything's gone. Okay, so weekly 200 got defended, okay? We also had the FEG, right? So weekly 200, FEG, boom. That was the trade. But now we have a bearish FEG overhead right over here. Let me go ahead and adjust this. Bearish FEG is right over here. So there's no edge overhead. Okay, there's no edge overhead. But there's something more. There's something more. I mean, you could trade it from here to here, but really, like, that's not a good trade. That's not a good trade if you're trading the daily time frame. There's something more going on over here. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn off the FEGs, both the bearish and the bullish FEGs. And what I'm going to do is turn on our Tenkan and our Kijun. And all you have to do for that is click on this Ichimoku sign on the right-hand side here, okay? The blue line, guys, is your Tenkan. The red line here is your Kijun. And what we are seeing at the moment is the Tenkan-Kijun kiss, or what I like to call the TK kiss, right? And this is always a tradable opportunity. When the TK comes in, you can expect price to get sucked into it and test it. And one of two things can happen. We can either break above it, essentially claim the TK, right? Price closes above the Tenkan, and then in that case, you look for upside continuation, or we reject it. And in that case, you look for a big move towards the downside. You look for downside trend continuation, right? And this is a classic pattern that Bitcoin pulls, where you see something like this: a head and shoulders, right? Neckline. I've got caught out by this trade often. Neckline breaks. Let's trade the bearish head and shoulders. Let's trade the bearish head and shoulders. Instead, we come back up. We reclaim the neckline, close underneath it, and then boom, right? Be aware of that situation. Be aware of that situation. Don't get lured into a trade only to get sucked into this move, and then it ends up being a big move down to 22K, 24K, right? Just be on guard for that situation. Now, I'm hoping that doesn't happen, right? If it does happen, I'm ready. I'm ready with dry powder to add to my trade. But I'd rather let this Bitcoin trade run easy and free without the stress, right? Because once we come down here, guys, if we come down here, at that point we're testing levels that completely breaks the trend, completely breaks Bitcoin's current trend, and then we're like back to being fucking depressed and sad, and the market sucks, and nobody wants that. People want to be happy, right? That's why nobody likes bears. Nobody likes bears because bears are fucking depressing, all right? Apologies for the language. Hey, how's it going, Wolfie? How's it going? Yeah, so be aware, be careful of this situation playing out. We hope it doesn't get there. Even though I'm ready for it, I'd rather put my money elsewhere, Once we get this move confirmed here and we start seeing Bitcoin close about 28.5K, 28K. Okay, this is where we're seeing confluence, by the way. Let's go ahead and clear everything out again, okay? It's going to reset the chart. I'm going to go ahead and what are these dots? Okay, they're gone. We talked about the bearish FEG, right? How it's overhead over here. Well, that's lining up very close, guys, to our TK. I mean, it's right there, actually. It's right there. So TK and the bearish FEG lining up. And this is what I meant by it's so easy to implement FEGs into your system. It just gives you more confidence when things line up. Because it does line up with key things that we are using all the time anyways, right? So yeah, that FEG that we talked about in the beginning, lining up with the TK. What are we looking for the TK? We're looking for a price to claim the TK. If price closes like 2 daily candles over the TK, things are going to be effing brilliant. We can look for further upside. If we see a rejection over there, and we start seeing price come down, kiss this range good night. Kiss this range good night, because we're likely going to take out this low over here, and we're going to come down to like 24K, 23K. Potentially even 22K, right? I would be safe and just say 23K is the average you should look for. If we tip down a tad bit more, by all means, whatever, no big deal. But yeah, be on guard for that as soon as a rejection happens. What else is happening? A lot happened actually today, which is why I wanted to do this video, because people are gonna get lured into trades. It's not an easy juncture. If you're not already in a trade, it's not an easy juncture to trade, right? So in the morning, we were talking about Bitcoin and its volatility and trend profile, right, across all time frames. And there was this dude beyond the curve from the Grove who pointed out that, hey, Bitcoin has flipped long on the 4-hour time frame, okay? And it did, right? It just did 8 hours ago. And the issue, though, was, at least my issue, was that the 12-hour time frame was still short. The daily was still short, is still short. The 2-day is still short, right? So the 12-hour has been my barometer for this entire move to give me like confidence in, okay, are we going to see continuation? And the 12-hour is still being short on the dashboard was not a good sign. We wanted that to flip, especially since the volatility was so low. 12-hour vol being low, you bet on the direction of the 12-hour trend. That has been the winning trade, okay? And in the morning, earlier, up until 4 hours ago, as you guys can see, the reversal was 4 hours ago, we were short and the wall was low, pointing towards a downside move, right? And a hard downside move, because volatility compression leads to volatility expansion, right? Wall is compressed right now. Blue means compress. Red means expanded, right? So the 12-hour was kind of like a barometer to be like, what do we do here? What do we do here? It's best to not have any opinion at all than be bullish at that point. But now the 12-hour has flipped. It's neutral though. It's neutral. And that lines up with the TK kiss that we're talking about over here, right? Because the TK getting tested is in a way a neutral move. You can trade it up until that move, but you can't be bullish. You can trade the range up, like from the FEG to the TK. You can trade that range by all means, but you can't really be bullish for the move for long-term continuation, mid-term continuation. Only once we claim that can you be bullish. Well, if we do claim that, it's likely going to be the case that this 12-hour flips long as well. So we're going to have vol sitting in the blue range. We're going to have the trend flipping to long. We're going to have the TK claimed, right? And then the daily short trend is going to be under pressure. Remember what our thesis was, right? Our thesis, this entire bear move, this bear trend, has been that we are okay with the lower to mid time frames all over here, all the trends over here, going into short trends, because that's what you need for a reset of the weekly to have continuation in a healthy manner, right? Because if you have too much amplitude on your weekly trend, guys, on your weekly moves, on the bars, if you have too much amplitude there, it starts getting unhealthy. And that lines up with our equilibrium trade on Bitcoin as well, where we were like, the faster we get to 40,000, the more likely we're going to short into it, the more likely we're going to sell into it. Well, this is the most bullish scenario playing out for us, where things have taken its time. We're giving the Ichimoku equilibrium to come to place. Maybe flip green, that would be insane. Long ways before that happens. But the weekly trend has stayed long on the dashboard. So as long as the weekly trend is long, our long-term bias is long. Our short-term, mid-term, looking for the down move, will always adjust according to this, and we'll always position for that. But now that's under threat, right? The daily short trend is under threat, which means the downtrend is about to, I wish I could draw. Let's go here. Let's go here, right? I could have just drawn a mango view, okay? So essentially, let's say you have a weekly move like this. Apologies, I got to end the stream soon. So let's say you have a weekly move like this, right? That's your first impulsive leg that initiates the weekly trend long. But then the daily time frame, the 12-hour time frame, the 4-hour time frame initiates their downtrend. These are lower time frame moves that essentially form the basis of your bull flag. And then the weekly picks up again, probably on its higher low. Maybe the weekly 200 moving average is going in like this. Maybe it's the weekly 21 EMA. Maybe it's everything, right? Price will find support somewhere. You as a trend trader, you're hunting for that support. You don't know where it's going to come. You take a gamble, right? But you have to be okay with price tad bit going underneath too. It's a trend trader. You have to be okay with being in the red a tad bit. And then boom, that's your bull flag. Your low time frames going into a downtrend is the basis for your bull flag, provided that your high time frames remain long. High time frame is long. Weekly is long. 4-day flip neutral 2.7 days ago. That was a bit scary, but it's not bearish, right? I'd like this to flip back into a long posture as well. But for now, this 4-hour long that Beyond the Curve pointed out has now stressed the 12-hour short that flipped neutral. Now, if the 12-hour flips long, it's going to stress the daily, and the daily flips long. Now we're going to have the perfect structure again, where almost all the time frames that matter are long, right? Okay, so that's Bitcoin on. That's the volatility and trend profile. We talked about the TK. Okay, the importance of the TK. Let's go ahead and give you an example. 2 examples. So there's one example right over here. Where you can see. So what did I teach you guys in the beginning of this video? That when you see the Tenkan and the Kijun kiss, you'll likely see price get sucked into it, right? Well, there's an example right here. We saw a TK kiss right over here, right? And you can see price test it. But here we saw a break above it. Price continued. Now, a better example, this is not that good of an example, better examples in higher time frames, you switch on over to your weekly. And this we traded, right? We traded back when it happened. Oops, we were eyeing it for the longest time. Let me just reset everything. It was right here, right? It was actually the big signal for Bitcoin's downtrend and initiation of the bear market. Again, turn on your TK by simply clicking on the Ichimoku setting right over here. It's going to turn on your Tenkan and your Kijun. Your Tenkan is the blue line, the Kijun is the red line. And if you guys remember, I'm going to turn on the cloud too, because the cloud basically started getting us thinking about it, right? If you guys remember, we were being supported on the bottom of the cloud right over here, okay? And during this time, we were like, okay, guys, we're about to get a bear cross, right? Essentially, Tenkan coming down on over to the Kijun, underneath the Kijun. But, of course, we're going to first get the TK kiss, right? The kiss. And usually, when you get the kiss, price gets sucked into it, right? Price will test it. Not always, but usually, right? It's a tradable move. When you get the TK there, you can look for price to get sucked into it. And considering you're bouncing on support over there, you could look for the move. And what happens? Just as the TK is happening, price actually breaks above the top of the cloud and goes and tests it. But we did not break above it. And that was so disappointing, man. That was essentially the nail in the coffin. But not fully. The big nail in the coffin would have been losing the bottom of the cloud. And what happens here? We lost the bottom of the cloud. And what happens after? Bitcoin bear market, right? All the way down to 15K. Well, that's essentially why the cloud is going to be that much more important to us. Well, it is important to us for this bull run, right? We'll be keeping an eye on what happens with the weekly cloud. So, going back to the daily now. This is what don't we want? I'm going to turn on the cloud and I'm going to turn on the Ichimoku. I'm going to reset this. No, it's fine. Let's reset it. Cloud and then Ichimoku. I'm a bit tired. What we don't want over here, guys, is price rejecting off the TK, breaking back into the cloud, potential edge-to-edge case, all the way down to what? 23.6K. 23.6K, lining up at all these other levels we've been talking about for a while. So we're seeing confluence there too. If we lose the bottom of the cloud, that's GG. That's GG, right? You can kiss this trend goodbye. That will reset all the ideas. So we lose the bottom of the cloud, it's not going to be a good sign. You can see we got support over here too. This was the entire banks failing, etc. Crap that happened, right? SVB failing, everything went to shit. Cloud got supported. Market showed confidence where it needed to show confidence. So that's essentially what I want you guys to keep an eye out for, guys. Look for the TK. Just be on guard for the rejection. Even if you do get the rejection, it's really only fully lights out underneath 23K. But we can look for that move to 23K if we get that rejection and break back into the cloud. It can be as simple as this. Turn on your dashboard. Available at app.mangoresearch.co. I believe the daily time frame is free, right? I believe so. 95% sure. Just click on your indicators here. You get access to everything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm pretty sure. Oh, Cardano. Let's give you guys a quick update on Cardano. Cardano. I honestly thought I was gonna be taking a loss on this trade. I was fully mentally ready to close out the trade, but it freaking closed in the dynamic, right? It didn't close underneath, and my invalidation is underneath. So I am in the trade until that happens. It's as simple as that. Right? Cardano has been surprisingly strong, right? Considering everything that has happened, other altcoins have lost levels. They have broken through their key support regions. Cardano held. It held. It's not had its big move yet, granted, but I like this, right? All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm freaking famished. I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao. Throw a like, throw a subscribe, leave a comment down below. Your comments go a long way in motivating me to do this, right? They actually mean way more than you guys know. I read all the comments. I may not have the energy to reply to all of them. I'm introverted by nature, so it gets exhausting. Doing this is very exhausting for me too, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Ciao.